Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show presented by Phillips Norelco. We are going into week 7 of college football. Fellas, how are we doing this week?
Oh, that's right. Mississippi State scored 2 points.
Yeah.
They're air raid offense, Dave. So, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Mike Leach is now the coach of Mississippi State.
Right.
They passed the ball 70 times. They scored 2 points.
Yeah. Did beat LSU in week 1, if you guys
2
remember.
points. And LSU lost.
I haven't kept up with them
They lost
since.
to Missouri.
I haven't kept up with
So
them.
where are you now on Mike Leach?
I'm very confused. I'm very
That's probably a standard answer.
out in the wilderness. I was all in on him, and now we scored 2 points. I oddly feel good going into this week. And I know you're making it about me, but I'm the only one that believed in your team. So you and I. She's wearing maroon this week.
Whoa.
So only now is
Yeah, but he
not
took it
the
from me,
word.
though. He took
I
it
mean,
from me.
I did not take that one from you. But I was on them with you, money line and game.
That is true. And I've said this plenty of times, but as a college football fan, you know that when your team is not doing well, you can be mad at them, and when they are doing well, you can be happy.
That's
with
called
it.
being a fair weather fan. Casey.
No.
That's what that
Well,
is.
Dave turns is he a fair weather Michigan fan? Because he turns his gear inside out when they lose.
Well, that was last year when he declared them dead to him.
Well, if
that was
they
a different
lose
circumstance.
Well, if they lose a couple more times, is he also a fair weather fan?
I don't know what he's going to do if they lose a couple more times. Last year it was different.
I feel like I'm pretty fair with Michigan. I
That's
feel like
what-
you're not fair. I feel like you're very hard on it.
Well, it's the first time they've won a top 5 matchup since 2002.
And this is also the first time
At
I
Kyle
believe
Field.
you've ever
At
worn
Kyle.
maroon on the show.
Well, because I usually wear our Barstool merch because I'm trying to sell merch.
Just
'Cause that's
saying.
good for the company. You don't wear our merch.
I'm just
ever. You
saying
wear-
I'm just saying they won a game against top 5 opponent, and all of a sudden you have maroon in your closet.
Welcome to college football fandom, Brandon.
No,
You had
I'm ride
you
or
had-
die.
You had tickets to the college football playoff and had KJ Costello as your Heisman winner 2 weeks ago.
Me and everybody else.
I think we walked into a do-to-do.
There's definitely a little something going on back
Well, yeah, A&M's playing Mississippi State this week.
Also
so
very sad to do. It's not really that heated.
Yeah, it's really not that exciting.
A&M, I mean, A&M is feeling good about
Yeah,
themselves.
very
Yeah,
good, which
they
you're
should.
allowed to do
Mississippi
as
State
a fan
scored
base.
2.
Yeah, no, I saw it. 24-2.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that game
2.
in just a little bit.
I would rather score 0.
They almost
Absolutely.
They almost scored 4 though. Give them credit. They almost.
I'd
had
rather
another
score
safety.
4. 2 is the worst score.
4 would have been awesome.
2 is the worst score to have.
I think 4 is funnier. But we will get to the A&M Mississippi State game later on. We will be in Starkville together, so I'm sure it'll be a very heated conversation. But let's get into some different games for the high noon weekend preview. High Noon Hard Seltzer keeps it real, just like we do. Keep this game changer on deck for home gating, watch parties, or any day drinking opportunities. Real vodka, real juice for real fans just like us. Let's start with number 1 Clemson at Georgia Tech. Clemson is favored by 27.5. The total 63.5. Now we saw what Clemson did last week against Miami, a top 10 matchup that ended up not being close at all. Georgia Tech did beat Louisville. We don't really know exactly what Georgia Tech is about. Dave, you said that you thought that Miami might win. What were your thoughts on that game?
I think he went the other way, didn't he?
No, he took Miami.
He switched his
No,
pick. It was
wait,
a heart
wait,
pick.
Miami.
wait.
It was a heart pick.
I did not think Miami was going to win that game.
I thought we were all on Clemson winning that
changed.
handily.
Well, yeah, I did, but I didn't.
Heart pick.
Oh, here's your heart. Your heart.
I
took it.
wanted it to
I
happen.
never thought.
Okay, so just your heart thought they might.
He
No.
he
Your heart
wanted
wished
Miami
for
to
it.
be back.
Wished for
I
it.
wish for
Okay,
it.
wanted
okay, so
Miami
you
to
wish for Miami to win.
I did not think Miami was going to
Okay.
win that game.
What do you think of Clemson?
I mean, they did what I thought they were going to do. I don't think Miami's that good. I wanted them to be good, but I didn't think they were going to be good. It's like, fuck it, I'll just root for them for the fuck of it. I lost. I bet on it in real life. So you said you don't know what to make of Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, they're not great, but they did beat Louisville last week pretty handily.
I know everything about Georgia Tech.
Okay,
I have
tell
bet
me.
on them, I think, every single week. They're not very good.
They
The
are not.
quarterback,
Jeff Sims.
They try hard.
the coach they love.
Yes.
The quarterback makes plays. He scrambles. He was, I think, a big recruit. So they're going to score points against Clemson, who's probably going to look past this game coming off the big one. Going to be high scoring. Clemson wins. The spread, would I touch it? Maybe. I think Georgia Tech probably stays within the number because there's a shit ton. And if I recall, as I'm speaking about this game, this is last year when I first became aware of the Georgia Tech coach who was basically doing a pump-up speech at the end
Yes.
of the game, and they were down like 100. They will be up for this game. I think Georgia Tech, it's never going to be like, oh my God, Georgia Tech may win, although this is the type of game that Clemson has lost in past years.
And it is the early game, too.
So I like Georgia Tech. I like the over. So there, I gave you everything you need to know about that.
Dan?
I'm going to take the over. The only thing that scares me about like letdown spots this year is because the season is so shortened and every week matters, and it really is like one loss can do you in. Whereas in past years, Clemson lost to Syracuse, Clemson lost to Pitt, like they still were in it. I don't know if that can happen this year. So
I will say though, and this is going off memory, Clemson's losses, if I recall, were late enough in the season where they should not have been allowed back in, but everything broke
but they
their way.
dominate
Right.
the ACC
Right,
as
as
well.
the conference.
But it
right.
wasn't like, it wasn't like an early, it was late.
Yeah.
It's always a team like a bad Pitt or a bad NC State that clips them.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech would be like,
They would fall into that category.
Georgia Tech, I do know exactly what to make of them. They just try very, very hard. It's a program that's being rebuilt. They're still a couple years away. I'm going to take the over. I kind of agree with Dave on this, that if I were to have to bet a side, it'd be Georgia Tech, but I wouldn't feel great about
also, asterisk, Georgia Tech, sort of the Atlanta Falcons of college football, really bad in the red zone. Move the ball at will and then will implode, and that could be a problem. But I'm sticking with what I said.
Brandon?
So my read on Georgia Tech is that they're a very bad football team that has life in the program for the first time in a while. So they are getting better, but they're still not good.
They're trying.
They're trying.
They are trying.
The quarterback makes plays.
And he's
Yeah.
a freshman, and he's
True
getting
freshman.
better every single
Sure.
week. And last week they took it to Louisville, but that is Louisville. Clemson will show up. They'll win by probably 21-25, something like that. I don't know that I have the confidence about the number, but I'm with these guys. I'm going with the over because Clemson's going to score points, and I believe Georgia Tech, with enough life in that program, will score some points as well.
Clemson hasn't covered, I don't think, since they've been a three-score favorite, have they?
Well,
This year?
I guess it's a three-score.
Yeah.
Three-score favorite. They haven't
They've only covered. They've played 4 games. They've
could
covered
have.
once this
Yeah.
year.
They could have scored they could have covered every single game.
But they
just taken
haven't.
the foot off the
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Georgia Tech and the points. I do think that Georgia Tech tries really hard, and then this is an early game, and Clemson always has one of those kind of close games, crazy. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the over as well, Georgia Tech and the points, but Clemson's obviously going to win.
If you're a fan of a program, do you want to be watching a show and then find out that the thing people like about you is that you try hard?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're rebuilding.
Okay.
Wouldn't that
Like,
be
if
better
you're
than
not-
that you're
No,
trash?
and I'm saying it in the form of life in the program. He's actually got those guys going in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Yes.
Okay.
And,
Yes.
and we complimented Jeff Sims. That's a good thing.
Yes.
You'd rather be that
There-
than
I
their
like Jeff
garbage.
Collins, the coach. He's a very
There's
good
a
coach.
year or two window.
Well, he was a defensive coordinator at Florida and Mississippi State a couple of years ago. He went to Temple for a year, and now he's at
Temple
Georgia Tech.
makes good coaches.
Yeah.
But there is a window that a program has, like Arkansas is stepping in that window right now.
Correct.
Where Arkansas can go 2-6 this year, 2-7, and it be a successful year because they were in games. Year 2, year 3, maybe not, but right now Georgia Tech's in that window where if they're competitive in games, people should be happy.
Closing the gap.
Right.
You need something to like sell their recruits.
Right.
It's the opposite of what Florida State's doing. They're just not trying.
Correct.
You don't want to hear that. Let's go to the next game. Louisville at number 4, Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored by 17. The total at 64. Now, Brandon, you were high on Louisville coming into the season. They're 1-3.
Right.
And then Notre Dame last week just killed Florida State. Did let them score 26 points, but
So I didn't watch all that game, but
a muff kick.
the memo I got was that Florida State tried in that game.
They did.
They did.
That was
a
their best
muff
game
kick.
so far.
Yeah.
They didn't quit on the season.
no, I'm saying normally that's what we've been saying for Florida State over the last couple of years.
So I was wrong on Louisville. I was high on both these teams coming in. I think Notre Dame's a legit national title contender. Louisville, I was wrong on. I don't like Notre Dame's offense very much, but I love their
Oh, I
defense.
think they've turned a little bit of a corner.
And I think they have a bounce back on defense. They give up too many points to Florida State, so I like under 64 here. Louisville, just not very good. I thought they would be better, and Notre Dame's defense is one of the top 5 in the country, in my opinion.
Now, Notre Dame's defense did play well in the second half. They
did.
gave up a muffed kick that gave Florida State like a 25-yard touchdown. So it was the final score was a little deceiving. Like Notre Dame was in control the whole time. They should have covered. They didn't. Brian Kelly just stopped fucking running plays in the 5-yard line.
Yeah, but at this number, that you're still susceptible to that. 17? I mean,
Yeah, I
gotta
think
be sharp.
Yeah, I think Louisville's got too many problems offensive line, and that plays into Notre Dame's strength. They have, wouldn't you say, maybe besides Clemson, one of the best defensive lines in
Oh, I would say Georgia as well, but
Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame. So that's a strength versus a weakness that there's nothing like watching a college football game when an offensive line cannot block a defensive line. It just everything gets fucked up.
So you're going to take Notre Dame?
Yes, I have Notre Dame minus 17.
Dave?
I'm going Notre Dame. The over. Louisville stinks. Notre Dame, I did have them last week. I didn't watch much of that game, so that's what I was asking. But, yeah, I'll take ND in the over.
Yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame as well. They're definitely trying to prove that they deserve to be in that college football playoff spot. Being in the ACC this year, I think that they're going to kill Louisville. Let's go to the SEC. We're going to do Kentucky at number 18, Tennessee. Tennessee -5.5. The total 46.5. Now, Dan, one of the only teams that played defense last week was Kentucky because we saw them play Mississippi State.
Well, okay.
2 points. I mean, they got 6 interceptions.
Yeah,
That
so they
counts
did
as
play
defense.
defense, yes.
Yeah, it did.
And then
They were handed to
Tennessee
them. It's just
lost to
poor
Georgia.
Poor
But what do you think about Kentucky this year?
Poor effort.
Kentucky is maddening because
They
they basically are running an offense from 80 years ago. They can't throw the ball.
Well, their quarterback
Yeah,
stinks.
right. I know. They can't throw the ball. They just run the ball. Statistically, the worst part,
So when do you
Brandon,
turn on the quarterback?
It should have already.
But
I think it's also just play calling. Too.
What?
Like, they
What?
don't have it. They don't have anyone to stretch.
they have a
the
new
field,
quarterback?
too.
They have a guy behind him, Joey Gatewood from Auburn. They haven't turned it over. That's going to happen soon. I don't know when it's going to happen.
The guy who's now is hurt last
Skyler
year?
or whatever.
Terry Wilson got hurt in the
Terry
first
Wilson.
game last year. He just can't throw.
Because we had him as good at the beginning of this
Yes.
Yeah.
We were
Or
wrong
decent.
about that.
Decent.
show. Correct. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
when
We
he
were.
returns.
If you're asking
And
were we
Joey-
right or wrong, we were wrong. I was.
There we go.
And
You're
Joey
welcome.
Gatewood is from Auburn, yeah.
So Tennessee, though, that game they got the shit kicked out of them by Georgia.
Wow.
Either
44-21,
Georgia's defense
but-
got gashed.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen to the
Sources
pickup. No,
say-
yes, they did.
Georgia's defense got gassed.
well, I mean, Tennessee scored a defensive touchdown on the very first play of the game.
Oh, you watched the game.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Are you saying you guys have a show where not everybody watched the game?
Well, we were told that Georgia's
Maybe.
defense got
Got
gashed.
Gashed. And then we went through the drive chart, and there was the defensive touchdown, and then there was that one long
They had,
bomb,
potentially
37-yard,
Only one drive.
one real touchdown.
There was any
35 yards.
gashing.
There was no gashing.
There's no gashing.
No gashing.
So I,
Sword.
It's on national TV. Not everybody watched it.
yeah,
Well,
surprising.
Somebody said it watched 75%.
65%.
Well, that was after the live.
Yes,
came out.
and then it's actually down to 63.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to make a pick, I would take Kentucky, but I don't feel great about it.
Why would you take Kentucky?
Because I just think Tennessee's maddening. Tennessee has guys, and they just,
All right.
something about,
I'm going to answer that.
maybe it's Pruitt, I don't know. They're just, like, they get sloppy.
I think you're wrong. Tennessee's good. Georgia is great. Georgia's defense is elite. Tennessee
Maybe I am
is
wrong.
a
All right,
good
fine. You know
football
what?
team.
I'm gonna take Tennessee.
They killed Missouri, and they
I don't like
played-
this game, so I'll take Tennessee. If
I
you
like
tell me
Tenn-
that, I'll take Tennessee.
I like Tennessee.
Now
good.
wait, hold, time
Kentucky
out.
can't throw the
time
ball.
Out,
This isn't
time
about
out,
Mississippi State.
time
Time
out,
out, time
time
out.
out. This is what got me last week. The team that beats Mississippi State, Brandon then says they're terrible and they never should have won that game, a la Arkansas, who was in that game and should have won that game against Auburn. Time out. I need unbiased Brandon. Because now I'm going to pick whatever you tell me, but I need unbiased Brandon because you're trying to diminish Kentucky after holding Mississippi
Which
State
is odd,
to 2 points.
Because
You would think it would be the opposite.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you build them up.
Kentucky had
You
He's
diminish
down on
the
his
one
team.
you beat.
Right.
Kentucky had 130 yards of offense.
Okay.
Kentucky is going up against a Tennessee defense that is really, really good. They held Missouri to 12
Okay.
points. Tennessee, it's at Neyland Stadium.
Yeah.
Even when Kentucky's been good recently, Tennessee's had their number.
Okay.
Tennessee
But you
owns
also
Kentucky.
said you
I was wrong about
He's-
Arkansas, and
this-
I'm
he
the only
said,
person that ever
quote-
says I'm wrong.
quote. I say I'm wrong all the time.
I was wrong about A&M last week.
Tennessee or Brandon said, quote, Mississippi State owns Kentucky.
Still do. Last 12
No.
games, 9 and
No.
3.
Well,
Last 12 games,
scored
9 and
2
3.
points.
We still have the
It's
deed.
under-
They haven't taken the deed yet.
Under Mark Stoops, they are 1-6 versus Tennessee.
Correct.
All right, so I'll
And
take
this is
Tennessee.
the best
I'm
stretch
gonna
of
trust
Kentucky
you. I'm trusting
football.
you. I'm trusting
Okay,
you.
all right.
Yeah. I just do you think that my timeout was
I think that was a good use of a
It was a
timeout.
very good use of a timeout because it
don't
dawned
take them
on
into
me-
halftime with you.
I had deja vu when we were talking about Arkansas and Auburn last week when you're like, Arkansas is trash.
But you know, I went against my dislike for Auburn, and I did that last week, and it was not like me. I shouldn't have done it. Tennessee is good. Kentucky is not.
Okay.
That is my answer.
All right. I hate this game.
Dave, where do you land on this?
Kentucky. I'm generally a Kentucky fan, but I don't love it. Tennessee, I liked last week. You want to say you never admit you're wrong. My eyeballs watched the game and I flipped because I knew they were going to get demolished. So I was right about that. I was right that I knew I was wrong. I sort of agree with. I sort of agree with Brandon. I don't have a feel necessarily on Tennessee yet. I don't think Kentucky's great. I'm hoping these are two not great teams, so I'm taking Kentucky.
And you have been high on Kentucky for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as high the way they started this year, but I'm going to stick with them another round.
I think that Georgia is just that good. I don't think Tennessee is like, you look at that game and think that they're a bad team. I think Kentucky's not great. I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. I know Dave's not, but the two of you are going
The
Tennessee.
under could work too, because
Georgia-
both these quarterbacks are
Georgia.
terrible.
Georgia is very, very good.
Yes.
But did you not watching that game? There was a part of me that was like, Tennessee has just lost composure. Like, they lost composure.
But it was their first giant game
Okay, all right, that's
in a
fair.
while. It was
That's
their first
fair.
time on that stage.
Yeah.
They've been building, and they get here
I
and they
don't
kind of
think that's
lost it.
accurate.
Where have they been on that stage? They were in the CBS game and they were undefeated.
Yeah, I
They were
don't
facing
think that's
Georgia.
accurate. I really don't. You're saying over the last, how long are we talking?
5 years?
No, definitely not true.
Since
'Cause people have
2016 and Bush Jones. This is the first one under Pruitt.
I don't think so.
Well, give me one.
Like, I mean, they have big games. They've been on a net. Like, if they're playing Florida at 3:30 on like SEC, that's a big game.
Yeah, what about that game when they gave up the touchdown at the end of the game? They were ranked, right?
Like, they're SEC.
That was 16.
Yeah, that wasn't
2016,
under
yeah.
Pruitt.
And that was a different coach.
No, but they've definitely, there's been, like, they're a big power name. They've definitely had prime time or 3:30. You don't think they've been in 3:30 games since?
They've been in a
he's there?
3:30 game, but this was a statement for them to have a chance to face an elite program and say we're back, and they haven't.
See, I think they've had that. Off the top of my head, like,
They faced Alabama, but they've never gone into that game thinking we can actually win this game. I think they thought they could win last week, and they fell on their face.
But I think that's because Georgia's that good.
Georgia's good.
yeah, you're right. So I think they've probably played Florida at 3:30 in a game they think they can win. That's a huge game.
I mean, Florida's 3 years removed from being 4-8, so it's not like Georgia, top 3 Georgia at their place.
Well,
Oh boy.
No, I'm gonna go look.
do you want
No,
to
I
look
can
it up?
tell
And
you.
should we?
They rattled off a bunch of wins last year at the end of the season, but I don't know if there was
The
any
last
big
they
wins.
start
nobody.
slow, right?
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, last year,
But I
Jeremy
remember-
Pruitt almost
I don't
got
even
like
remember
fired.
You think of Doug's? You
Going
think of
like,
Doug's?
no, Big T going like bananas.
He does that anyway.
That
He
was
does it in the
that
first
was
inning
when
of
they lost to
practice.
Middle
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche. He likes to go nuts.
All right, well, speaking of Tennessee, let's go out to Caleb for concussion protocol in Knoxville.
At the University of Tennessee, there's one man who literally shits where he sleeps. Not only that, but there's also a good chance he's piping his roommate's ex-girlfriend.
What does she have that you don't?
A pussy.
You think he's ever seen it? Probably.
Meet Dodson, the worst roommate in America.
All right, thanks, Caleb, for the trailer. If you want to watch the full thing, it's available on YouTube, any of the Barstool platforms, so go do that to check out Concussion Protocol. Let's go back into the high noon weekend preview. This is the high noon high stakes game of the week.
What are you guys betting?
Oh, we
Okay.
already said that.
Number 11, Texas A&M, favored by 6.5 at Mississippi State. The total,
First trap in the
54.5.
opponent's from the field. You don't like that? What?
I feel like you both like thirst trapping, so you're both going to do it win or lose.
That was actually
both
Brandon's
love
idea. I
thirst
told him I
trapping.
didn't think that thirst trapping was that big of a bet because,
You agreed to the
You're
bet.
both thirst trappers.
yeah, that
Let's
is
run
true.
it, thirst trapper. But
I
He-
think
he
you
wants-
both want to. You're going to be like secretly being like,
Well, he wants me to thirst
Yeah.
trap in a Mike Leach T-shirt, which he wanted me to do 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I can't do
She
that.
wouldn't do it 'cause
A&M,
she's
well,
selfish.
because A&M hadn't played Mississippi State yet. That would be crazy for me to
was
do that. We're in the
selfish.
same
She was very
division.
selfish.
But so I will say, because we know what happened last year with the bet, he had to wear the Yell Leader uniform,
Correct.
or the Milkman, whatever you want to call it.
Hi, Devlin.
And he shoved Devlin. I think we have a clip
Why
right
do we
here,
have a
just,
clip?
just in case we needed to relive
No,
it.
fuck you.
Fuck you, Brandon Walker.
Fuck it
The
off.
fact that it was in the yellow.
yeah, it's perfect.
So great.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too, Brandon.
You can't call me a moron from Mississippi.
Why?
We're having a disagreement, okay? We're having a disagreement. We're having an argument. That shit was
So you
uncalled
can
for.
call me a bitch, but I can't call you a moron. That's
This
the
was in the
level.
heat of the...
Oh,
You walk off, you're just walking off. Oh, you're a moron from Mississippi. You thought you were going to
you're
get
a
away from
moron
it.
from Mississippi.
Oh, fuck you. Well, fuck you.
Too. Oh, my God.
The same guy then wrote a tattletale email about like
that's
commenters
unrelated.
being mean.
That's unrelated.
I was just bringing it up because apparently this game does bring out maybe the worst in you. If you lose the bet,
Devlin is right behind.
I know,
the camera.
Devlin.
Yeah, so he's watching it.
that is
All
true
right.
every single week. So, but yes, the thirst trap bet is what Brandon agreed to or made it up because I thirst trap all the time.
I hated
as do
the Yell
you.
Leader costume last year.
You're scared of betting this game.
Well, first of all, last year Mississippi State wasn't good, and I knew going in that we were going to lose. I didn't want to make the bet. You guys
This is, just to clarify, verse or not versus spread?
Ooh, we haven't thought about
We're going to do it on the spread this year. Last year we did it straight.
That's
up.
fair. I think
had
that's
no
fair.
chance to win that
I think
game
that's
last
fair.
year.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Doing it against
I
the
like
spread.
Mississippi State in this game. I was so thirst trapping. Yeah, you guys
Yes.
both like it.
Well, we'll talk about it.
How,
We're gonna be on the plane, going to Starkville. We'll own it.
How long is it from New York to Starkville?
Oh, I know where this is going.
Where do you think that's going?
I'm just curious.
We're leaving at 11:20. We get there at 3:30.
But that's plane. How long would it take to get back?
No,
Driving.
no.
For
I
the
can't.
loser.
I can't do that.
And every hour they have to play the winner's
I
fight
can't.
song.
I have to be here
And do an
Monday. I
update.
can't.
I
Yeah,
will
no, right,
allow
you
it
could-
for you not to be here.
Well, there you just got clearance. But also, you could definitely get back in time if you left right after the game. No, how long is it?
I'm
17
not leaving
hours.
right after the game. We have to record our podcast that night. We have to watch Georgia and
Okay,
Alabama.
so but how long?
You have
So
to be here
Sunday.
Monday then for it.
Yeah, so Sunday morning you could just get on the road. Casey could too if she
Like,
loses.
I mean,
she'd
yeah, I could.
drive.
That is something that nobody wants to lose.
No one wants to drive.
I don't
all
want to
of
lose
an
that.
NFL
I get to
Sunday.
go
That's
home.
that is the
It's
general.
just under 17 hours, apparently.
That is the general gist of a bet.
I get to go home. I get to be in Mississippi. I get to be happy, and you want me to leave, and you
Well,
want
if
me to
you
drive.
win,
That's the purpose of a bet. It has to be you really don't want to lose.
you love driving.
I do like driving, but I've made that trip 4 times. I don't want to make it again. I don't want to. I don't.
That
want
you
to.
is better cover the 7.
Purpose of a bet.
Better
6.5.
cover the 7.
Well, it's 6.5.
It's 7 on the sheet.
No, it's not. Well, he asked you if you wanted the line changed.
I want the 7.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll give you the 7,
Seven's
and if
fair.
there's a
Okay.
push, you guys have to drive back together.
No, if it's a push, we should be able to fly back.
No, you
together.
both drive back together. Because
No.
no one wants to see a bet
there's
that no one wins.
That's true.
Both of you lose.
Driving back.
I don't know that I can drive back. I can't drive back.
It would
I
suck
can't drive
so-
back.
Why?
I can't.
Suck.
So
You know
I
what?
can't drive back.
So you only want to make bets that you sneak. You don't.
You know what? I
enjoy the
will.
losing.
I'll agree to this bet.
So now.
You know that I can't drive back.
Why?
What? I have to drive back if A&M loses.
At my own expense.
No, it's Barstool will rent a
No,
car.
I haven't said my thing. At my own expense, I'm taking my daughter to the game.
So you
She's
drive,
going with. She can't fly back and then
Uber
Uber
drive back.
Well,
with
she can
you.
fly back with me.
You're gonna make my kid drive back? You're gonna make her
I
privy to the
mean-
bet?
Wait, but I thought.
Oh,
you
she
said
can
you-
fly back with
you
Casey.
Take her home.
Yeah, I mean, I can fly
You
back.
get her from LaGuardia to my house in Jersey.
We can get that. We can.
That we have a lot of people who can help with
The
that.
spider can
You
go.
want my 11-year-old flower to
Cover the 7.
travel by herself in an
What do you mean?
airplane?
But Casey would be with her.
Yeah.
Casey's gonna be hungover.
No, I'm not. Not if I have to take care of your child. I'm a responsible
I
adult.
would guess that she'd probably enjoy spending the time with Casey. It's like, cool.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
I will agree
So-
to the bet.
That's a lot of pressure that she's agreeing and you're not, Brandon.
I actually like Mississippi State, not just because I'm a fan, but this is a letdown spot for A&M. They traditionally don't do great there, and
So there
They
you go.
don't. They don't do great.
Perfect.
I have to
Flying back.
No, you
You'll be
don't.
Flying back.
fine. Loser drives back. Fuck.
Are we?
Remember the
is it
fight
against
song part. Every hour update with the fight
I'll
song.
grant
part.
them the 7 if it's a push. Nobody, everyone flies.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
Dave is nicer than me.
So
Done. So 7,
So-
it's a push,
okay, but
and both get to fly back.
okay, so we can both fly back if it pushes.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, because then his daughter. Okay, that makes
Yes,
sense.
perfect.
Okay, so Brandon, are you agreeing to this bet?
I mean, this segment's going to drag on until I agree, right?
Well, I thought
Well, you
did.
Yes.
agreed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
why'd she ask me then?
I just wanted
If
to
I
make
already
sure it's
agreed,
on
why'd she
record.
ask me?
Now we have a
Yes.
bet. Now I'm into this game.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to
Everyone watching is
Okay.
now into
We're
this
going to
game.
go on the field and take a thirst trap that we want to put on our Instagram and get followers. No. This is a bet.
You can
All
still
right.
do the thirst trap.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes. You can still do that and get it on your Instagram, but this is good.
Okay.
It's good
fight
content.
song,
It's good
don't forget
content.
the
Great
fight song.
content.
So every
Their fight song sucks.
Every hour.
Oh, you said last
update.
week you
Their
loved
fight
it.
song
You
sucks.
said
It's
you
like a
loved
military
it.
fight song.
You-
They're
well,
like a-
well, it's a
can't
military
just-
school.
Well, no, but you can't just drive.
It's a military school,
You
Brandon.
can't just drive back and be like, "Oh, we'll see you on Monday." The people need an update. So every
love
hour
Okay.
is just a quick update on the road.
Good bet,
Fight
Sam.
song playing.
But we
bet.
can leave on Sunday so we can watch
Yeah,
Georgia
you
Alabama.
can leave whenever
You
you
can leave
want.
whenever
Okay.
you want.
You could live in
Okay.
Mississippi for
Yeah.
a month and come back.
Okay.
You just gotta drive back.
It's true, you could.
Okay.
But just the other Mississippi guy is going to be here and we'll like cuck you if he gets here and you're not here for him.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Anyways, I love the bet. Good job, Dan. And by the way, you have to do it. You've made bets in the past, I feel like, where you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, like the where. You have to do it.
I wore the
Yeah, but
milkman.
it took a lot of convincing. You have to drive home. Casey will take great care of your daughter. We will get her door to door with chauffeur
No problem.
to your front
Yep.
porch.
Before we move on from this, though, so does that mean that Rudy has to drive back no matter what since he's the camera guy?
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him.
So,
No, why does Rudy have to?
well, if we didn't
camera guy.
need somebody to have.
Document it.
Well, I mean, that's up to you guys. I would
Oh,
allow.
Katie is going too. So
I would allow.
Well, you know what you should do then? You should have Katie and Rudy decide which side they're on.
oh,
Interesting.
That's good. That's a good point.
So
Well, Katie apparently just said fuck no that she's not driving back. So
Well,
she doesn't
I
have
don't
to
think
drive,
that works,
she's
Katie. It doesn't
car.
work for me.
Well, yeah, she's not content.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always turn the phone on.
that's
yourself.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we'll figure out those logistics.
You love driving.
Listen,
Just rent a nice car. You don't. I'm not saying you have to drive some crap car. Rent a nice
Listen.
car. Rent a fucking Tahoe.
if you believe in your school, she'll be flying, or in her case, you'll be flying.
Mississippi State +7.
There you go.
Got it.
I'm going to take Texas A&M -7.
Love it.
I like Mississippi State. I think you're going to be flying, Casey.
This is great for the podcast, guys.
You think I'm gonna
This
be
is great
flying or
for
driving?
unnecessary roughness.
Oh, excuse me. I think you're going to be driving.
Think-
Yeah,
okay.
this is
Yeah.
great for unnecessary roughness.
It's true.
This is great for listeners, for downloads, for everything.
Super.
It is.
You excited, Casey?
Yeah, I mean, why make a bet that we both want to win? I mean,
Exactly.
How we get the people
You
going.
told
We
me.
get the people
You texted
talking.
me and said, let's come up with a bet so they don't have to come up with a bet.
Well,
That's what you
Well,
said.
you had to come up with something better than what you came up with because it's very obvious it wasn't a big loss for either of you. This is a big loss. I'm excited.
okay. Dan, are you taking? Who's flying back?
I'm taking Mississippi State.
Oh, so everyone
I do
thinks
believe
I'm
in
driving, huh?
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
it's a letdown. Not a letdown, but
They do have some injuries.
the only thing I can't tell is Leach saying he's going to get rid of the malcontents or whatever he said.
going to purge the roster.
Yeah, so you don't know. Are they going to play for him or not? If they play for him, I think they hang, maybe win. Or if they're revolt on him, it could be a rout for A&M. So let me put it this way. A&M, I think Mississippi State either wins or gets killed. I don't think the number is going to matter, but we'll find out.
The energy you're giving me right now, it's good energy. That's
like
the
that?
bet energy.
Okay, all
Because
right.
now this game, you have to win
It does. Yeah.
or cover.
Yeah.
You
Why
have.
are you
to.
looking at me like that?
Well, 'cause we're all of a sudden in combat.
We've been in
that's- oh, yeah,
combat.
that's the-
Right? No, that's why I'm looking. Why she asked me. Of course I'm looking at you like that.
Okay.
You're now
I-
the enemy.
To get
But
people
I
to
should
care.
have. I should
Certainly the
have.
time
I
at
should
Starbucks
have been the
Get
enemy
people
on
to
the other
care.
side.
Yeah, to get people to care about Texas A&M and Mississippi State. This is.
And
what
let
we
me
do.
say something as clear as I can ever say it. We didn't approve and send you to Starkville to have a friendly time.
It's true.
I agree. Okay, fine.
War.
And you've been talking shit about A&M, how you want to grab everybody's nuts the whole time anyways. Why would it
You
be
guys are the
friendly?
ones that have YouTube
That's just
videos
not
of grabbing
true.
each other's nuts.
That is not
You're
true.
the ones that kiss each other in the crowd.
Well, yeah, they
You're
do
the
kiss-
weirdos.
They do
Now
kiss
we
each
got
other.
You're the fucking
Yeah,
weirdos.
well, they do kiss
You're
each
wearing
other.
that fucking ring.
Yeah, they do kiss each other. But there's
Now-
nobody grabs
now-
each
Have you
other's
ever worn
nuts.
that ring on
It's
the
life
show?
or death.
I just
Now
got it
we
back
have
from
some-
Texas.
Now we have
You
something.
just now decided to wear the ring.
Well, I left it at my parents' house and they mailed it to me
I
this
was the
week.
one that believed in them last week. You didn't believe shit.
Yeah, I've said that. Welcome to college football fandom. They beat a top
You
5
keep
team,
saying
and now
that.
I do.
You keep saying that.
That's what everybody
I know
does.
football fandom.
That's what
We
everybody
had 2
does.
points. I'm still here.
2.
2.
Almost.
Utah.
2. Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll see what happens. Let's go to the biggest game of the week on paper. Number 3, Georgia at number 2, Alabama.
You're lucky I didn't do a bus. I thought about a bus.
I thought you were going bus.
I thought about bus. I looked at the
On-
bus routes. It's very convoluted.
Yeah, we don't have great bus routes in and out of
You're
Mississippi.
lucky I didn't do bus.
So Georgia at Alabama. Alabama favored by 6.5. The total at 56.5. And Brandon, we'll just start with you. Alabama let Ole Miss score a lot of points last week.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
Georgia
that.
kicked the shit out of Tennessee. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think Alabama's defense, when push comes to shove, will be much better than it was against Ole Miss. I think these two will be in a defensive battle. I like the under, but I also like Georgia. Every time they've played since Kirby Smart's been there, it has been within the number. I think it was a 5-point game, a 4-point game. It's been close every single time. I think Georgia is very good, and their defense will keep them in it. Georgia plus the 6.5.
Dan?
I'm going to take Alabama. I keep going back to the thought. Well, first of all, Ole Miss is going to make a lot of defenses look bad this year because Lane Kiffin's got something going. Like, that was a perfect game that he called. The onside kick was maybe the only mistake that he made.
Well, it's not perfect then.
No, I know. It was perfect up until the onside kick, but that wasn't even an offensive play call. That's special teams. Offensively, he called pretty much a perfect game. So they're going to make some defenses look bad. I think the issue I have with this game is visualizing Stetson Bennett down a touchdown late. That Georgia offense doesn't have any explosiveness. Alabama can keep them in front of them. I think Alabama and Mac Jones has been awesome.
Been awesome.
Do you think JT Daniels could come into this game?
Possibly, and of course that could fuck me, but you got to bet with what you got right now. And listen, I think Georgia's a very good team. This is a tall task when your offense can't be explosive against Alabama, which is like Alabama. Saban, we always talk about Belichick, how he changed. Saban having these offenses the last couple of years, where it's just points, and they're throwing it all over the place. It's incredible to watch.
Dave?
So I'm taking Alabama.
Yeah, it's a tough game. I agree with Brent. I bet, I feel like, money line on Georgia against Alabama in the SEC championship and thought I had a victory only to have Alabama pull it out late. So I think the teams are evenly matched. I will say a lot of what Dan's saying makes sense. Georgia, even though they've looked good, they started slow versus Tennessee. They started slow versus Arkansas.
Yep.
If you start slow and fall behind and become very predictable, it could turn into like a turnover fest. Having said that, I'm still going to take Georgia to keep it close because I put more on Alabama's defense than credit to Mississippi's offense. If you give up that many points, I don't think it's something you can just the next week fix. So I think it's close. But, we've said a million times, don't get rich betting against Alabama. I'm still going Georgia.
And Georgia's defense is really good. And I don't think, I asked you this earlier, Brandon, I can't remember if we ever came up with an answer. Has one of Nick Saban's assistants ever beat him as a head coach?
No, they haven't, but I don't know that that's a stat that really matters.
Well, no, it kind of does.
But
He's got a lot of assistants.
if they leave Alabama, they're leaving a great team and they're going to a team that needs to be resurrected.
Kirby Smart has issues against Nick Saban every time
But
he
he's
plays
been
him.
this close. And at 6.5, I think he can get this close again.
I think the problem, or not problem because I took Georgia, is the quarterback that I don't trust him. And if Alabama, if you just keep going, punt, Alabama's eventually, I think, going to score. They're going to get points, and then what happens?
Right.
What do you guys think about the total for this game? Because Alabama's been scoring a ton of points.
Alabama has also played Missouri, Ole Miss,
Well, Missouri.
And A&M.
but their defense. They haven't really played a great defense yet.
Well, you said A&M has one of the best defenses.
A&M, fine, but
Keep
they haven't played a
flip-flopping on
Georgia
A&M.
defense. They haven't played a Georgia
Yeah,
defense.
but they
at
put
the
up
point
50+ on A&M.
They did. I don't think they've faced anything like this.
Well, that's
so
of
Mac
course.
Jones
Georgia's
hasn't.
different level than
Mac
all
Jones
these.
hasn't faced this type of pressure yet.
Yeah, that's
either.
fine. I mean, Georgia, they haven't faced this type of pressure. I also, watching that game, Alabama's offensive line, which had question marks, looked good against Ole Miss, and I think that's going to be obviously a key.
Ole Miss is
Hand
the
up.
worst defense in the country.
They still look good. You get a little momentum going. You get a little continuity going.
Hand up. I have no clue on this total. I think you could say. I think it's one of those games where it could be a slow drag defense, or it could start opening up, turn into a shootout. I got no fucking clue.
It's a traditional underplay, but then 2020 SEC, you'd be insane to take an underplay.
I just have no
Insane.
clue what's going to happen in this game in any respect.
I'm going to take Alabama, which I know is the chalk pick, but I do think that you can't bet against Nick Saban when he's playing Kirby Smart right now. Let's go to One Blade Trivia with Brandon Walker. Make sure you head over to a store near you to check out the new Trim It to Win It promo available nationwide. Pick up a specially marked One Blade Barstool pack, and you could win up to $1,000 to the Barstool store. Every pack is a winner, so get your Barstool merch while supplies last in store near you.
All right, credit goes to Matty Smith 71 from New Hampshire last week. He got it right, so he gets some One Blade and Barstool merch. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. Here's the first question. The Associated Press National Coach of the Year Award has been given since 1998. Two coaches have won it twice in that time span. Nick Saban has won. Who is the other? Since 1998, he has won multiple National Coach of the Year awards. Nick Saban has won. This coach is the other one.
Urban Meyer?
Hashtag One Blade Trivia has actually never won it.
That's crazy.
Never
Oh, I know. Brian
Bob
Kelly.
Stoops.
Fuck. Okay. It is Brian Kelly.
Cincinnati, Notre Dame?
No, he won in
Notre Dame
2012
twice.
Notre Dame and 2018 Notre Dame.
Because people, yeah.
By enrollment, hashtag One Blade Trivia, which school is the smallest Power 5 school in the country? Which school, football playing school, is the smallest Power 5 school in the country?
Wake Forest?
Hashtag, okay. And this will be the last question. Wake Forest is correct.
That was easy.
I don't think that was easy. You guys were thinking
like
about
everyone
it.
I was going to
I'm
say
so bad
Northwestern.
at I'm so bad at trivia.
I just feel like everyone knows Wake Forest is small.
All right, this will be the last question. Don't spoil it. There are 4 answers. It is a very difficult question. Hashtag One Blade Trivia. There are 4 schools in college football that have been the AP #1 team for exactly 1 week in their history.
Mississippi State.
They were 5 weeks in 2014.
Oh,
Thank you
wow.
very much.
There
From
you go.
October 11th to November 20th.
Old Miss?
Yep.
No, there are 4 schools that have been AP #1 for exactly 1 week in their history. Which are the schools?
Kansas.
Hashtag One Blade Trivia. When has no? They've actually been #1.
Oh, they were number 2 as well that year.
So #1,
2007.
only 1 week in their school history. Who'd you say?
West Virginia and the Slayton?
No, they've been #1 multiple times.
Good question.
That's a
Good.
good question.
Question.
Thank you.
Great
Hashtag
question.
One Blade Trivia.
Brandon Walker.
Boston College.
That is correct.
Matt Ryan?
Question.
I don't know if it was Ryan or
there were 2
Flutie.
that
Was it Ryan or Flutie?
I don't think the Flutie, they weren't.
After they beat Miami?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one of the 4.
Cincinnati.
One of the 4. That is incorrect.
Louisville.
That's
Incorrect.
One Blade
Hashtag One
Trivia.
Blade
Damn.
Trivia.
all right, Big Ev. Time
I'll get
for
you
viral
halfway there. I'll
moments.
get you halfway there.
Oh,
Well, then you're going to
Well, no,
provoke
why?
people to
No,
keep
no,
going,
no.
and
Just
then
go.
you're
I'll
gonna
stop.
keep
I'll
going.
stop. I'll stop.
You'll stop?
After halfway there.
One of them's Wisconsin.
Oh.
When?
I don't know, but they were #1 for 1 week in their
oh
history.
wow.
Wisconsin, Boston College, 2 other schools.
Am I blanking that out?
Hashtag One Blade
Oh,
Trivia.
wait.
Yeah. You okay?
I don't recall them. I think it's going to be a long time. I don't think it was like
What year
since
was
we've been
it?
alive.
Oh, I have no idea. I just saw
Well, they sucked before that. Wait, when?
It could have been like the old
We went-
Michigan winning like national titles.
We did lose to Illinois. Okay. All right. That's going to drive me nuts.
I mean, you have to look it up.
Yeah.
Big Ev, while he's
I actually think it was like within the last 10 years.
Hashtag
I
One Blade
can't
Trivia.
think of it.
all right, Big Ev, take it away for viral moments while Dan looks that up.
All right, the first viral moment of the week, we have this 300-pound monster running the Wildcat for Auburn, number 89 on the clip. Dude's a beast.
It's crazy.
J.J. Pegues, 4-star recruit from Oxford, Mississippi.
I feel like this is when in like Pee Wee football they would have like the weight limits on who could carry the ball. This is this guy.
That spin move, I was ready
Yeah.
to take him #1 in the
Incredible.
draft.
Incredible.
The hurdle.
All right, moment number 2.
All right, moment number 2, staying in the SEC. We had Tennessee's quarterback get tackled on the Georgia sideline. Georgia player sprays water on him. How are we feeling about this?
Love it, love it, love it.
That's just
Gamesmanship.
SEC football.
Gamesmanship.
Cooling him down.
You go onto the opposing sideline, something bad's going to happen. I love it.
But I wouldn't even say that's bad. Probably
Well, you
felt
don't
good.
want it. You don't want water just sprayed in your face.
Probably not.
All right, 1952. Thank God. I thought I blacked
I
out.
knew it had to be.
I thought I blacked out a
I
year
lost to Michigan the next week.
because after Michigan played the YMCA of Detroit.
Well, they beat the country.
They were like 3 a few years ago, and they were, I think, higher than that. They were like
1952.
4. Yep, 1952.
Big Ev, moment number 3.
All right, moment number 3, Oklahoma misses the field goal in triple overtime. Gus Johnson does an all-time electric call, just starts yelling just words, just phrases after he misses the kick.
31 yards away. Oh, he shaked it! Whoa! Unbelievable! College football! Fox Sports, the Big 12. A young man that's been almost perfect in his career.
I think Gus Johnson sucks.
I knew you were going to say that.
Say
Jim.
Fox Sports.
That is why you don't like him, because I don't.
No, that's not why I don't like him. I like that call. I don't like him.
That was a
when
horrible call.
You think he
No,
overused
I like
that
when
call?
he's just like silly like that. I don't like him when he does that at 12:30 in the morning after a touchdown, Michigan and Iowa.
So see, I thought that's why you wouldn't like him, because to me, a guy missing that field goal is not. I mean, yeah, it's a big field goal, but not that surprising.
that call was funny. It wasn't great. It was funny,
But it's
and I'm okay with funny.
that call deserved a more shocking moment
Right.
to me, like the missed extra point BC. That now. I still like Gus John. I don't not like him, but he got so big and so famous.
He's like a
with
parody
Like
of
yelling,
himself.
right.
Yeah.
He tries to recreate that forever.
Did you hear what he said about the last week? Because we had the whole thing about how you're not. I know. Well, you can't say
Bleep
it.
that.
Bleep it. But did you hear what he said?
No.
So like at the end of regulation, when Texas was coming back, he said there are bullets flying in South Dallas. It is in fact a
Whoa.
I will say
Canceled.
Texas is becoming
Tom Herman's
my-
got to be fired.
He's not. Never mind that. They're becoming my personal
Oh yeah,
Your
they
arch
fucked
enemy?
you over. They fucked
Twice.
you so bad.
Twice they've been down 18 points with like 2 seconds left in the game and somehow fucked me in the dick. Unbelievable.
Moment number 4, Ev.
All right, the fourth foul moment affected Dave and I directly, the pit kicker drama. The kicker's 0-2 going into this. He makes a 58-yarder, 40 seconds left, force OT.
What a great kick.
That was unbelievable. The witness.
After he was 0-2 on the day, missed chip shots, then misses the extra point to lose in OT.
Unbelievable. That's college kickers.
I was about to say,
Beautiful.
college kicking to a T.
I love those kick moments.
They have a close-up of my eyeballs, and I'm just like, miss it, and I'm sitting, and my eyes look like I saw a UFO. I mean, they got so wide because I had BC and BC money line.
Spoke into existence. We all had the money line. That was fantastic.
Stunning moment. All right. Let's go to the Phillips Norelco Locks of the Week. Phillips Norelco One Blade is the one tool that will let you trim, edge, and shave any length of facial hair. So we're looking at the records. Dave, we'll let you start your 2-2-1. What are you going with this week?
So I won last week. I had the over in Georgia Tech. I also had Arkansas last week against Auburn. They started slow, but I said, you know what? Arkansas may be pretty decent. They're catching points at home this week. I think they win the game. Do I know who they're playing right now?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. So there you go. Ole Miss coming off what I'm going to think is a valiant effort, but a deflating effort.
Yep.
All their energy in that game. I like in Arkansas also a deflating loss. They could have beat Auburn.
They should have. That was a bullshit call at the
But
end.
I think at home, I think they turn around. Teams with effort. I like Arkansas.
Dan?
I'm going to take Duke, NC State over 59.5.
Brandon?
So I like South Carolina. They
do too.
They
Me
beat
too.
Vanderbilt pretty easily. Vanderbilt's not anything, but
That
I don't think,
hurt.
I don't think Auburn's very good either. And Kevin Harris, a name for South Carolina, could be one of the best running backs in the SEC. He's number 2 in rushing behind Najee Harris. South Carolina money line plus 130 to beat Auburn at home.
So I took Clemson last week because I needed just to win. I got that. I was going to take Tennessee minus 5.5, but I feel like because we have so much at stake for the A&M Mississippi State game, I feel like I have to take A&M.
Just memo to anybody who considers themselves a friend of mine. Next time or any time in my life that you see me start loading up on Vanderbilt, please tell me not and take my phone, take my brain.
You got a little crazy in that moment.
Do not let me put a lot of money on Vanderbilt ever again.
All right, that's a public service announcement. Big Ev, you're 5-0.
5-0.
5-0, so what do you got?
Job, Dev.
So I'll admit, I was going to take Mississippi State plus 7. But something tells me just the Barstool gods would rather Brandon Walker take
That's
this
true.
drive home.
That absolutely plays a factor.
So I think I'm going to switch, and I'm going to go with Memphis. I'm going to go Memphis plus 3.5 at home versus UCF.
That is true. People would probably much rather see you drive than me.
Yeah, no, the Barstool gods, whatever the most painful thing that can happen, that will happen.
I don't know.
So
I think
it will
it's probably
probably
more
be-
painful for me to drive.
It will probably be something like Mississippi State driving down 14, get the touchdown, minute left, miss the extra point, boom, Brandon.
I know it's a good bet now that I wouldn't have cared at all. Like
Now it's like tune in.
The thirst trap game, I wouldn't have paid
It is
attention.
must
Now-
watch.
Right now, I'm into it.
All right, those were the Phillips Norelco Locks of the Week. Forget about using multiple tools. The Phillips Norelco One Blade does it all. Your style, made simple. Phillips Norelco One Blade, now 20% off when you subscribe to replacement blades. Let's go into our top 10s of the week. This is also going to be a very hostile segment because Brandon has a spite spot at number 10. So Brandon, you know what? And I know Blattman's going to be mad at me for this, but we'll just start with you, Brandon. Go ahead, because I know you have a whole little bit to do.
I don't have a bit.
You have a bit. Go ahead.
I don't have a bit at all.
Okay.
It looks like you got a bit.
I don't have a bit. I have A&M at number 10. I didn't do a 7, 8, 9 because I just am not all that impressed. If you look in the AP top 10, North Carolina's number 5. I don't believe in them there. Cincinnati's like number 8. I don't believe in Cincinnati. I don't. So I left that blank. I think Penn State and Ohio State, when they come in, are going to be very good. But I think A&M deserves that number 10 spot because they beat Florida last week. Do you think
so-
they don't deserve a top 10 spot?
No, so why wouldn't you put them at number 7 if you have nobody at 7, 8,
They're
or 9?
good enough to be number 7.
No, why don't you tell the truth of why you're
Who was
putting
10
them at
last week?
Tennessee.
So your 10s lose every week.
It's 0-5, yeah.
10? So it's a bit.
No, it's not a bit. Should I not put them there?
No, that's smart.
If my number 10 is
You should
0
have
and
just put
5.
a 7, 8, or 9, and nobody would have argued with it.
I literally looked at it, and I can't.
I
put
will
Cincinnati in
say,
the top
agree,
10.
the top 10 is like hard to fill it
is, for
out.
sure.
But
It doesn't. I just don't
but
feel like North Carolina's an
I didn't
actual
know-
top 10.
I didn't know you could do that, but
I just did it, and Blackman said I could. So,
well, Blackman's God apparently.
well, that's who we send our top 10s to.
Okay, Big Ev, let's go with your top 10.
All right, I mean, I pretty much have the same thought as Brandon. I do have UNC and Cincy in there at the back end. The tops pretty much stay the same. I mean, I'm not impressed. I put A&M in there just after a big win over Florida, but I mean,
Okay.
pretty chalk
I
right
mean, we're
now.
getting to the stage. You're missing 2 conferences, right? So it's like hard.
But he does have the Big Ten in there.
No, I know, but I mean, when you're trying to fill it out,
It's like I don't actually
Yeah.
think North Carolina or Cincy or A&M is like very good.
Yeah, but you don't really have an option.
It is what it is.
like I'm curious to see Dan's because Dan's.
Well, I made a
making you
mistake.
play.
I fucked up.
Well, we'll go ahead and go to
So
Dan's then.
I thought that I was filling out how many points you scored last week. So I accidentally put Mississippi
okay.
State at 2.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
That's my bad. But the rest of it is my top 10. But
Okay.
Clemson scored 1 point.
I got confused. I saw 2 and I was like, oh, 2 points, Mississippi State. Got to put in there. But the rest of my top 10, so if you take that out, that mistake out, this is my true top 10. I can't remember who I would have had at 10. But these are all undefeated teams. Impressive in some wins. Obviously, a couple that have looked not as great. But it is hard. It's hard. I'm sticking with you have to have played for me to put you in my top 10.
The eye test. That's
Right,
what we're
so
doing.
all eye test, no conference that hasn't played yet. Like, you can't get in. SMU lost their best wide receiver, so that's going to suck. But right now they are 4-0. They had a big win against Memphis. So, yeah. That's so stupid of me. We've done this so many times that
Yeah.
I can't believe I thought
It's just
it was
embarrassing.
just the number.
They did only score 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Dave, your top 10?
So I believe I still have Michigan as number 1, and I tried to fill it out as best I could. Pretty basic, I think.
Yeah. And you're keeping Michigan there as long as they
Somebody's
haven't
got to
played.
prove they can beat them.
Yeah. Okay.
So you prove you can beat Michigan, then my 1. Nobody's proved it so far.
It is tough to do the top 10 right now. I'm going to go and I.
Oklahoma State was my 10, sorry.
Didn't you have
Oh, wait, no, I had
him
him in 8.
Yeah,
Never mind. I can't remember who my 10 would have been.
My top 10, and I said I wasn't going to have A&M in the top 10 again, but I lied. They're back in my top 10. I put them at, I believe, number 9. Yes, because they have the best loss of the season, technically, because they beat a top 5 team in Florida, but they lost to Alabama. Everything else pretty standard. I think Ohio State is
Well,
one
I
of
mean,
What?
how could you say they have the best loss of the season? Like Missouri lost to Bama. That's a good loss, too.
Yeah, but they haven't beaten a top 5 team.
You said they have the best loss of the season.
But they also beat a top 5 team, so.
Best loss this season, I'm trying to think.
That qualifier
Ole
just
Miss.
doesn't make sense.
Ole Miss has the best loss this season. That was the best loss.
There's 2 things.
Or
They haven't
Arkansas.
beat- but-
Arkansas going toe-to-toe with Auburn.
Yep. But Ole Miss hasn't beaten anybody, so I
Yeah,
guess you could say
so-
the same about Arkansas. Oh, they beat Ole Miss. I mean, Miss State.
Yeah, so that's tough. So we're going to Starkville this weekend.
Good luck.
I'm excited.
Yep. We'll be,
Every hour, update
yeah.
with the fight song.
But we can stay as long as we want, apparently.
Correct.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, you
But
can
then
stay
you-
as long as you want, but you might get, as our friend Stu Feiner says, Willie pepped.
Yes.
He says Willie Pep.
Yeah, he said Willie pepped.
Well, you probably should be back for your radio show on Monday.
Yeah,
Just like I
I'm
would
sure
have to
I
be
will be.
too, yeah.
Ben Mintz can cover it.
Cover her show.
All the shows.
Well, you guys think I'm the one that's driving back, so.
I do.
But I'm now starting to think that because
The mojo
Big
of
Ev
the
brought
world.
it
I
up,
think
what Ev
like,
said made a lot of
Barstool
sense.
Devil Magic, like it's gonna, whatever can make the most painful event happen.
I will say, maybe on your benefit, we all did like.
Mississippi State.
We all.
I like
Yeah,
Mississippi
we all like Mississippi State, so maybe that bodes well for A&M.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Maybe A&M is pretty fucking good. Who knows? We'll find
yeah,
out.
we'll find out. We'll see who's driving back. Brandon, are you going to shove anybody after this show?
No.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
One thing to remember when you're gambling on the Barstool Sportsbook app, make sure that you gamble responsibly, know your odds, know your chances of losing.
Gamble responsibly. Nobody wants to end up in a trash can.
You can play with Penn National, which is a licensed and regulated operator. Big words. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.